Welcome back to Cocobola Wood Studio. My name is Jason, and today I'm going to be building this articulating camera boom that I hope to mount to my ceiling. The plan is to be able to position my camera anywhere over top of any one of my tools as I'm working and filming. This entire thing is made of 30-inch slats, and after it's all assembled, it comes to a total of 98 inches. Here I am just overextending each joint just to see how far it can bend in the opposite direction. Part of my normal workflow is to draw everything up in Google SketchUp. I use the version 8, which is free. You don't have to pay for this. And it just gives me an idea of dimensions and how everything sits together. It's a very handy tool, especially when you're designing something that you've never built before. Especially if it has moving parts, it's really convenient to be able to see how everything interacts with everything else before you start building and cutting and screwing and nailing and whatever it is that you got to do. Now, this isn't a how-to video. There are many videos on how to use Google SketchUp or any other software for that matter. I am not a software expert. I'm just showing my general workflow and what I do. Now that I have the general idea of what I want to build, I'm going to use Vetric Aspire to actually create a CNC file that I can cut out all those whatever shapes they were called, trapezoids or whatever they are. It's going to allow me to position any screw holes exactly where they need to be and to make the shapes the exact size that they need to be in order to have everything fit and work together without binding. So one of the nice things about using some CAD software is right now I'm making a mistake on those upper holes on that piece. They should be out a little bit further from where they actually are. I realize that before the end and I fix it, but I could have easily started making this with everything in the wrong spot and then had to scrap those two pieces or four pieces, I guess they're going to be eventually. I don't have to do that now because I caught my mistake early in the software and I can fix it before I go ahead and start cutting anything. So the little holes that I'm working on right now are actually just going to be markers for the screw holes. They're just going to be little divots that I make with a V-bit on the CNC machine, and then I can drill them out on the drill press after to the size that I need. And this is where I noticed that my upper holes there are in the wrong spots. So I'm moving them outwards, and I have to do each one before they're ready to go. So this is the backside of my spoil board, and I just need to sand off any little divots made from screws on the backside so that it sits flat against the lower board on the CNC bed. That aluminum thing that I'm lining up underneath the bit is actually a touch-off plate that I made with this CNC machine. It took a while to cut that out, but I eventually got it, and it works pretty good. So I'm just using a 2x2 spruce standard Home Depot style piece of lumber. I'm going to split them right in half, and then that's going to make two of the slats for the articulating arm. I'm using the brackets attached to the 2x2s, I guess they're 1x2s now, to just position the hole in the correct spot so that when it all goes together, everything works and it doesn't bind. Here I've set up a little jig to help me get the radius on the end of these slats. When they spin together, they won't interfere with each other. To support the whole boom from the ceiling, I'm using an old assembly for a laptop mount that was able to hold a laptop and spin around. So it has a built-in bearing and everything in it. And it's made of steel, so it should be strong enough. Now I actually have the camera mounted in the boom and I'm just testing it out. This is typical size of something that I would normally build. I'm about 2 feet off the bed right now, sort of sitting above it. And here's a different angle. And there it is, mounted up on the ceiling. I put some springs on it. You can fine tune how stiff or loose it is just by tightening up those bolts in the side there in that plywood. Have a light mounted on the bottom and then the camera mounted on the top of the arm right there. I've used lag bolts in the assembly of this thing only because that's just what I had lying around. As you can see, they're protruding out and maybe not the most safe thing in the world. So I will probably replace them with bolts and nuts. And then that way, if I accidentally walk into it, I won't poke my eye out. So I'm just messing around with different positions just to see how difficult or easy it is to move around and aim where I want it to aim. It's a little bit wobbly, but you can just settle it down by hand and it works pretty well. So that'll do it for this project, and hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you did, I would appreciate it if you could throw me a like and subscribe if you enjoyed yourself. Have a great day. Thanks. See you next time.